90 days from now, will you still be telling yourself the same story? The story about why you can't start? The story about why your life is the way it is? Or will you finally take action? Let's get one thing straight. 90 days is not a long time. That's 3 months, just 13 weeks, 90 sunsets. You can waste it scrolling on your phone, sleeping in, and saying, "I'll start tomorrow." Or you can use it to completely rewrite who you are. And before you roll your eyes and say, "That's impossible," let me remind you, the real impossibility is wasting 90 more days and expecting life to change. You've been here before, haven't you? You've had moments where you felt fired up, ready to change, ready to become the person you keep imagining in your head, and then something happened. You told yourself, "I'll start next week." You waited for the right time. You convinced yourself you didn't have the money, the energy, or the knowledge. And here's the harsh truth. You weren't waiting for the right time. You were waiting for the feeling of discomfort to go away. You were hoping life would somehow fix itself while you stood still. But here's the rule. If nothing changes in your habits, nothing changes in your life. 90 days is enough to build something real. 90 days is enough to start a business, learn a skill, lose bad habits, build discipline, and change your direction completely. But you know what most people do with 90 days? They burn it. They treat it like a throwaway period between real change. They say, "I'll get serious next year." They look at the clock, not realizing that the clock is looking back at them, counting down. Tick, tick, tick. Here's something you need to understand. The next 90 days are happening whether you like it or not. The only question is, will you be the same person when they're over? Because if you keep telling yourself the same excuses you've been using for years, you're guaranteeing your own future failure. And I know you've got reasons. You've got a busy schedule. You've got family problems. You've got bills to pay. You've got things you can't control. But here's the brutal truth. Life doesn't care. Your excuses may be valid, but they won't save you. The world doesn't hand out rewards for the most reasonable excuse. Think about this. 90 days from now, the seasons will change. The days will be different. But what about you? Because if you don't take control now, you'll wake up 90 days later with nothing to show but the same regrets. Regret is a heavy thing. It doesn't just sit in your mind. It sits in your chest. It steals your energy before the day even starts. And worst of all, regret multiplies. The longer you keep doing nothing, the heavier it gets. The good news? 90 days is also enough to turn regret into momentum. Small changes stack. You don't need to conquer the whole mountain today. You just need to take the first step, then the next, and the next. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. You don't have to know everything. You just have to start learning. You don't have to feel ready. You just have to move. Do you know why most people never change? It's not because they're not capable. It's because they keep negotiating with their future self. They say, "I'll start when I'm less stressed. I'll begin when I have more money. I'll wait until the new year." But here's the thing. There is no less stress season in life. There is no perfect moment. And if you wait for everything to line up, you'll be waiting forever. 90 days from now, the excuses will still be there. The difference is, you'll be further behind. Imagine looking back 3 months from now. Imagine standing in front of a mirror, seeing a version of yourself that's sharper, stronger, and more focused than the one you see today. A version of yourself that doesn't just talk about change, they live it. Now imagine the opposite. 3 months pass, nothing changed, and you realize you didn't even try. Which version of yourself do you want to meet 90 days from now? Here's your challenge. Write down one thing you've been putting off. One thing that's been sitting in your head for too long, something that actually matters. Now break it into small, clear actions and commit to working on it every single day for the next 90 days. Not when you feel like it, every day. Because feelings are temporary. Commitment is permanent. 90 days is not a lifetime, but it's long enough to prove to yourself that you're not the same person who keeps quitting. It's long enough to silence the voice in your head that says you can't. It's long enough to turn discipline into your default mode. The next 3 months could be the foundation for the rest of your life, or they could be just another chapter in your story of almost. When that day comes, 90 days from now, the clock will strike the same way it does every day. The sun will rise the same way it always does. But you'll either wake up proud of what you've built or crushed by the weight of what you've wasted. Time is the only currency you can never get back. Don't spend the next 90 days going broke. So, I'll ask you again. 90 days from now, are you still making excuses? Or are you finally doing the thing you've been talking about for years? You decide, and the decision starts now. Stay raw, stay relentless.